So a beach destination. I'm a fish and beach guy. So I'm sorry about the Spanish, but the example was in Spanish. I didn't have time to translate that. But let's say actividad turística, that's a variable. And when we link it to the land development, which is the second variable, the rationale behind here is that the more touristic activity, the more land development, which is something that probably most of us would agree. As you see, there's a causal link. It's solid. It's a positive sign. So that means more activity, more development, less activity, less development, which makes sense, right? It's basically offer demand. There we go. So when we link, and this is now a loop, development of land and touristic activity. Why? Because the more touristic activity that I have, the more development that I have, basically the more attractive it gets, therefore, the more touristic activity that we have. So we have another causal link. It is positive, which means that we have a reinforcing loop. More activity, more development, more activity, more development, and it just keep going. That's what you think if you only think on that, but it does happen that when you develop more lands, that increases environmental pressure. It creates more tourists, yes, but at the same time, it also creates environmental pressure, which is another story, and we'll see about that story. So the more pressure over time, in this case, because it's a beach destination, it's going to create less reef cover. So you see this is a causal link that is dotted, which means it's the opposite. So as you see, more pressure, less reef. Less pressure, more reef. But in this case, because we are following more activity, more development, more environmental pressure, less reef coverage. And there is this delay mark, which is it's not immediate. When you start adding pressure to the environment, a reef don't die immediately right away. It just starts building over time and they keep dying. Anywho, then the reef coverage, which is why tourists go, because they go to see the fish. If it starts dying over time, it decreases the activity. So as you see, more activity, more development, more pressure, over time, less reef, over time, less activity. That's why it's called a balancing loop. If you have less activity, you have less development, you have less environmental pressure, and over time, you will have more reef, which over time will start attracting tourists, which will create more development, and so on. So as you see, that is dynamic behavior in a very simple example. And that's one feedback loop of balancing loop with a positive reinforcing loop.